Why do we travel, really? Maybe it's to find an instant connection, like sharing a laugh with a stranger at a sidewalk cafe, the Eiffel Tower twinkling in the background. Or maybe it's to gain a fresh perspective, watching the Seine drift by as you realize there's more to life than the rush of routine. We travel to feel something real, to learn, to connect the dots in our own story. And here in Paris, France, those moments are everywhere. Stick around, because this trip might just remind you why we wander in the first place. Paris on a budget is completely doable. Grab a Paris Visite 3-day Metro Pass for $72 and ride like a local through every corner of the city, from Moulin Rouge to Montparnasse. Stay at the People, Paris Belleville, a stylish hostel with rooftop views and a lively social scene. At $140 per night, your 3-night total is $420. It is affordable, well-located, and full of Parisian charm, leaving you with plenty of room in the budget for croissants and culture. Day 1 begins the way every Paris morning should, with flaky pastry crumbs on your shirt and zero regrets. Breakfast at Du Pain et des Idées, one of the city's most beloved bakeries, sets you back about $20. Then it's off to the Eiffel Tower. Skip the elevator and climb the iron steps for $17. Each landing revealing that dreamy, slate-roofed skyline. After catching your breath in the Champ de Mars, stroll along the Seine, past painters, bookstalls, and street musicians, until you reach the Musée d'Orsay. Inside, for $19, you wander beneath a soaring glass ceiling surrounded by masterpieces. Lunch at Las du Falafel in the Marais is iconic and flavorful, totaling $35. Spend the afternoon roaming the Latin Quarter, then wind down with dinner at Le Comptoir Général, where the vibe is unbeatable and the bill comes to $55. Day 2 starts with cafe chairs on cobblestone, warm sun on your face, and the kind of quiet that only old cities can offer. After a light breakfast near your hostel for $15, head to Montmartre, where the streets tilt, the artist's sketch, and the Sacré-Cœur Basilica offers one of the best free views in Paris. Explore the back alleys where Picasso once wandered, then take time to tour the inside of Espace Dali for $16, home to surreal sculptures and dream logic. For lunch, stop by Chez Prune, a canal-side bistro locals swear by. Expect to spend $40. The afternoon is all about shopping in Le Marais. You score a striped Breton tea from Maison La Biche for $45, plus a few postcards and vintage finds. As the sun dips low, enjoy dinner at a quiet neighborhood cafe for $48, letting the day close with simplicity and charm. Day 3 begins with the hum of a city waking slowly and the quiet thrill of knowing it's your last full day in Paris. After a relaxed breakfast near the hostel, head to Ile de la Cité and step inside the haunting beauty of Sainte-Chapelle, where $14 gets you a front-row seat to the most jaw-dropping stained glass in Europe. Just across the way, wander through the historic conciergerie for $13, imagining the Revolution echoing in its stone corridors. Lunch is casual at Café Saint-Régis, known for its charm and neighborhood crowd, planned for $38. The afternoon is reserved for the Luxembourg Gardens, where you can stretch out in a green chair, journal by the fountain, or just soak up that golden Paris light. For dinner, one final treat at Bouillon Pigalle, a local institution with history and heart, comes to $50. Level 1, Budget Adventurer. Grand total, $917.
Headed out on your next adventure? Don't forget these 10 travel essentials that make every trip smoother. From smart backpacks to portable chargers, noise-canceling headphones to a must-have first aid kit, we've got the ultimate checklist for stress-free travel. Whether you're team budget or VIP, these are the items you'll wish you'd packed. Hit the link now and travel smarter.
Forget climbing tower stairs and splitting baguettes 3 ways. This is Level Up Paris, where the budget gets a glow up and you finally say oui to comfort. Ride around with ease using Uber and Bolt, averaging $125 a day, because the metro smells like croissant ghosts. So your 3-day transport total is $375. Stay at the Hôtel des Grands Boulevards, a boutique beauty with velvet beds and rooftop vibes. At $400 a night, 3 nights total $1,200, and you're living that casually fabulous Paris life. Day 1 kicks off in the first arrondissement with espresso from Café Kitsune, where fashion meets caffeine for $28. Then it's straight into the Louvre, skipping the peasant lines with a fast entry ticket for $50 and losing hours inside world-famous halls of art and gold frames. Next, stroll through the Tuileries Gardens, pausing at fountains, statues, and sun-drenched benches. Lunch is at Clover Grill, known for flame-kissed perfection and a sleek crowd. Expect $65. The afternoon takes you into the Palais Royal, a peaceful escape with black and white columns and hidden arcades. Stop at Astier de Villatte to snag a handcrafted Parisian ceramic mug for $75. Cap off your first night at Racine's, a rustic modern bistro tucked in a passageway, where $100 buys a full Parisian dinner with heart, wine, and style. Day 2 starts with a buttery morning at La Fontaine de Belleville, a vintage cafe where locals sip slow and breakfast runs you $40. Then head to the Pantheon, where $21 grants access to grand neoclassical domes, crypts of legends like Voltaire and Curie, and sweeping views from its colonnaded dome. Afterward, wander the Rue Mouffetard Market, a historic street full of old-world grocers, wine caves, and that perfect Parisian bustle. Lunch is a relaxed affair nearby. Expect to spend $60. In the afternoon, explore Place des Vosges, the oldest planned square in Paris, surrounded by brick mansions and arcades lined with art galleries. As night falls, dine in Belleville, where $85 gets you a creative, intimate meal that locals keep secret. Day 3 opens with coffee and croissants in the courtyard of Clos Paris, a chic breakfast institution where the spread runs about $42. Then it's time for the Opera Garnier, one of Paris's most stunning interiors. Marble staircases, chandeliers, and gold leaf galore for $20. From there, take a stroll through Galerie Lafayette's rooftop terrace, completely free and offering panoramic views over the Parisian rooftops and the Eiffel Tower from afar. Lunch near Place de la Madeleine costs about $55, surrounded by historic storefronts and Belle Époque architecture. The afternoon belongs to Musée Jacquemart-André, an elegant private mansion turned museum filled with 18th century art for $21. And your Paris journey with dinner at a stylish brasserie in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, where $150 seals the trip with a final toast to the City of Light. Level 2, level up tier. Grand total, $2,387. Welcome to the top shelf of Paris travel, where traffic parts for you and your suitcase rolls smoother than the Seine. For 3 days, you're cruising in a Rolls-Royce Ghost with a private driver from Paris Elite chauffeurs, totaling $15,000 for full-time VIP wheels. Your palace? The Shangri-La Paris. Once a royal residence, now your private playground. At $3,500 a night, 3 nights total $10,500 gets you Eiffel Tower views from your bathtub, silk walls, 24-hour butlers, and breakfasts that arrive under silver domes with fresh orchids. This isn't Paris. It's your Paris. Day 1 begins with breakfast on your private terrace, orchids on the table, and the Eiffel Tower practically in your mimosa. Expect to spend $150. Then it's time for a private sunrise tour of the Château de Vaux-le-Vicomte, the 17th century estate that inspired Versailles, complete with chauffeured transfer, exclusive access, and candlelit rooms for $2,200. Return to Paris for lunch at Restaurant Guy Savoy, where $300 gets you a front row seat to gastronomic artistry and a menu signed by the chef. After a brief rest, the afternoon unfolds with a VIP fashion house experience at Maison Margiela, where you preview next season's pieces and leave with a limited edition silk scarf for $1,200. End the night with a private Seine dinner cruise aboard a glass-domed yacht with live music, premium wine, and caviar service for $1,600. Day 2 opens with a sunrise yoga session inside the courtyard of the Rodin Museum, booked privately before hours for $600. Afterward, enjoy breakfast at Café de l'Homme, facing the Eiffel Tower with sleek interiors and a $180 tab. Next, you're whisked to a VIP tour of Fondation Louis Vuitton, where a private curator walks you through bold contemporary collections for $500. Lunch is at L'Ambroisie, a regal, hush-hush favorite in Place des Vosges, where the multi-course indulgence reaches $400. Spend the afternoon with a chauffeured drive through the Champagne region, stopping at Moet and Chandon's private cellar for a premium tasting and vintage bottle to go. $1,300 well spent. Return to Paris for a sunset rooftop dinner at Les Ombres with glowing skyline views and a $250 feast to match. Day 3 begins with breakfast in bed, silver trays, fresh pastries, and champagne poured with a nod for $160. Then it's off to the Eiffel Tower, but not the tourist shuffle. You ascend on a private VIP summit tour with your own guide, no crowds, and champagne at the top for $1,500. Next is lunch at Pavillon Le Doyen, where historic refinement and 3 stars come plated for $350. In the afternoon, you'll enjoy a private backstage tour of the Théâtre des Champs-Élysées, exploring gilded opera halls, artist-only corridors, and even the view from center stage. for $600. As the city softens into gold, lift off on a 30-minute helicopter flight over Paris for $2,100, circling monuments in style. Finish your journey at Bar Hemingway, where your final glass of vintage runs $190. Level 3, VIP Luxury. Grand total, $39,080. That wraps up our 3 ways to take on Paris. From flaky croissants on a budget to skyline views and silk-sheeted luxury. Whether you're a backpacker, a stylish explorer, or the kind of traveler who arrives in a Rolls-Royce, there's a version of Paris waiting for you. So, which level are you choosing? Drop it in the comments, hit like if you felt the magic, and subscribe so you never miss a single unforgettable adventure.